Carnival Cruise Lines is making waves for all the wrong reasons. A massive brawl broke out as passengers were disembarking from the Carnival Jubilee at the Galveston, Texas port. What was supposed to be the end of a relaxing vacation quickly turned into chaos. As a result, 24 passengers have now been permanently banned and placed on Carnival's Do Not Sail list.
Disturbing video captured the moment a massive brawl broke out among Carnival cruise ship passengers in Texas, resulting in more than a dozen people being banned from the liner for life. The violence erupted as passengers were disembarking from the Carnival Jubilee when it docked in Galveston on Saturday, following a week-long Caribbean trip. Footage shared on social media shows multiple passengers barging past barriers to trade blows, with one man shoved to the floor and then pummeled by a handful of others. Multiple security guards can be seen running toward the fight, but they struggle to immediately contain the melee. Several open suitcases were left scattered around the terminal in the aftermath. A Carnival Cruise spokesperson told the Post that the incident occurred in the debarkation area under the authority of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and that the matter was turned over to law enforcement. The company said, "We will not tolerate such behavior," adding that 24 people have been placed on their Do Not Sail list. At least one person was arrested, though police have not revealed what sparked the ruckus or what charges were filed.
Straight up embarrassing. Some people just don't know how to act. You would think after a whole vacation at sea, folks would come back relaxed and in good spirits. But no, some came back ready to throw hands before they even touched dry land. It's wild. And from my understanding, it was a 7-day cruise. But honestly, this kind of behavior has been showing up more and more as cruise traffic at Port Galveston has exploded over the years. So have the problems. Before, you didn't hear about this kind of chaos on the regular coming out of Galveston, but now, with these massive new ships packing in thousands of people, it's like some folks leave common sense and basic manners at home. It's obvious Galveston is happy about the port. The cruise line saved them from bankruptcy. And now business is booming. They're breaking records with the number of cruise ships and passengers coming through the port. But with all that growth comes more drama, more fights, and more people acting like they forgot how to behave in public. It's gotten to the point where extra security and investigations are becoming the norm just to keep things in check.
Real one, thank you. Only on to, the cruise industry is booming in Galveston, and with more people expected to travel by ship this year, it means law enforcement is working harder to make sure your vacation is safe. The FBI has a dedicated special agent investigating cruise crimes, and the results might be surprising. KPRC2 reporter Bryce Newberry has the story you'll see only on 2.
Cruise ships come in and out of the port of Galveston multiple times a week, and the FBI says nearly every week they're having to board a ship to investigate a crime that happened in international waters. It has to be done efficiently before the next group of passengers ship out. Before dawn and before vessels arrive at the 4th busiest cruise port in America.
This serves as the functional equivalent of the border.
The work is underway for Acting Area Port Director John Landry and his team, now busier than ever before.
Growth has been exponential.
He leads the port's Customs and Border Protection operation, tasked with screening millions of passengers.
Green light, you're good to go.
Many with facial recognition technology to speed up the entry process. Since the pandemic, cruise travel out of Galveston has dramatically increased. Data from the port shows the last 2 years have been the busiest on record, with this year expected to be even busier as a 4th terminal opens.
As they're floating cities.
Might seem like there's no rules.
If something happens that's illegal, you're gonna meet the FBI at your port when you get back.
Senior Supervisory Resident Agent Don Gay leads the FBI's Texas City office, now with a dedicated special agent focused on cruise crimes.
Most often we see an overindulgence of alcohol on the ships.
He estimates that's a factor 80% of the time, leading to federal criminal investigations most often for sexual assault and assaults that cause serious injury. The FBI also looks into suspicious deaths on board, missing persons, and high-value thefts, all with time being critical.
Very small window to investigate the scene, because you have a moving target. The ship's in port, you're doing a turnover, and moving out of port.
Before travelers ever debark, CBP spends days combing through manifest data for everyone getting on.
We do some pretty in-depth vetting of those folks. We'll find out that the individual may have a warrant, either leaving the country before they get onto the ship, or we get them when they're coming back and we take them into custody.
How often is that happening on a cruise out of here?
Almost every cruise we see somebody.
In a secure area of the cruise terminal, CBP has this extra screening area where jail cells await rowdy, law-breaking passengers, usually flagged to federal agents before they return from sea.
It really comes back to personal responsibility on these cruise ships, and that's people knowing when to stop.
A majority of the time, law enforcement says everything is fine on board, but the work is constant to ensure safety once everyone is thousands of miles from home.
When an individual or a family comes on a cruise, they can go on board and not have to worry about that. That's our ultimate goal.
Once at sea, the FBI's advice is to only take excursions vetted by the cruise line as another way to ensure safety. If you have plans to take a cruise, the FBI says be cautious of credit card skimmers on board and always check your bank accounts after traveling for any suspicious activity. Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
No doubt about it, Port Galveston has seen tremendous growth over the years, becoming one of the busiest cruise ports in the country, but it's also attracting more crime. So they definitely should have their own special agent assigned to those cases. Since 2016, cruise traffic through the port has steadily increased, hitting record highs every year. Back in 2016, the port only saw 861,000 passengers. Then in 2019, they set a record of nearly 1.1 million cruisers. Fast forward to 2024, Galveston shattered records, hosting more than 3.4 million passengers. And get this, they plan to top that again this year with 3.6 million passengers. While Florida ports Miami, Port Canaveral, and Fort Lauderdale remain the busiest in the world, Galveston is certainly carving out its place as a key player in the industry, especially for Texans and other central U.S. residents looking for a convenient departure point. Galveston is now the busiest cruise port in the country outside of Florida, and it's the addition of the newer and larger ships like the Carnival Jubilee that's contributing to the spike. Local authorities and port officials have acknowledged the challenges that come with this rapid growth. They see now there's a greater need for coordinated law enforcement presence and investigative resources to handle rising passenger crime and misconduct. And not just on board the ships, but as you can see with this case, at the port terminals and surrounding areas. The truth is, as the port continues to expand and welcome larger vessels from major cruise lines, keeping up with safety and security is becoming just as important as the vacation experience itself. At the end of the day, though, it's not just about the bigger ships and fancier cruises. If people can't control themselves, we're going to keep seeing scenes like this go viral and more people getting banned from cruising altogether. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Special thank you to Elmer. I appreciate you, Elmer, for all of your support for the channel. Also, shout out to Emmett, Charles H, JLJ, Dark Power, and Rob P. Again, thank you all for your contributions. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.